Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Play Daily team. And it's Friday, and I'm so happy to have someone here with me. And we will talk about an important aspect in a child's play, and that is nature play. But we will delve deeper into a kind of play in which we call it risky play. So let me introduce to you a friend that I've met in a coaching group, um, and uh, she's the founder of the Forest School Philippines. And before I continue, let me just check if I'm in Play Daily na. Yes. Okay. So if you're here, so you need to click the StreamYard so that you can comment and we can see that you are here and you're watching this. Okay. So if you're here, just drop a comment, say hi, and let us know that you're here. Okay, so going back to my special guest this morning. Okay, so she is the founder of Forest School Philippines, and she found her purpose in life by uncovering three things she loved. Okay, so these were nature, education, because she's also an educator like me, and children. So these are three things that we have in common. That's why we resonated with each other. So this search led her to forest school, and um, it is in forest school. It is in forest school that her purpose is being fulfilled, and uh, her purpose is to help people recognize their strengths so that they can share their genius to the world. Hi, Anna. Thanks for being here. And what keeps her up? Sometimes we ask ourselves what keeps us awake at night. And a friend of mine, she's a coach. She one time asked us this one in our uh, group coaching program: what keeps us awake at night? So this is what drives our guests. So what drives her and what keeps her awake at night is um, that she can make a difference by reaching out to more families, especially to parents, so the kids of this generation can think more for themselves, speak their mind, and keep on getting up whenever they fail or they fall. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you uh, an educator, a founder of the Forest School Philippines, a good friend, Sharon Cortez, or we call her Shawi Cortez. Okay. Hi, Shawi.
Hi. Good morning, Mimi, and good morning to the members of your group, Play Daily.
Yes. Okay. So I'm so happy, and I'm so happy to have you this morning. And
Mm,
okay, so let's talk about nature play. Okay. So in
mhm.
general, let's talk about what you do first. Yan. So tell us more about what you do first. Like a short description lang of what you do, shall we?
Okay.
So,
So,
yes.
I'm being introduced always as the founder of Forest School. But to be honest, meron pa rin po akong day job
Yes.
na hindi ko
Okay.
lang masyadong pinapaalam because I'm more passionate talking and telling people about Forest School. Hi, Anna. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Anna's here.
So, yeah, like you mentioned, I have found my purpose a few years back, and that's
Mm-mm.
what I'm pursuing now because I believe that through forest school, through nature, through play, we allow the kids to
Mm-mm.
find ano ba yung gifts din nila. So through
Mm-mm.
exploration, they find out, they become self-aware, and they know what the things that they like, what are the things that they like to do. So yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's being aligned to the to our purpose. Para naman bata pa lang alam na nila, they don't waste their time. They don't
Yes.
waste their adult years searching for that thing that they were meant to
Mm-mm.
do.
Yes. So, aside from forest school, so what I know is that Shawi also likes to go outside. She spends a lot of her time outside also with kids, and she uses nature as her classroom, right, Shawi?
Yes,
So
oo.
you help children discover themselves, um, and you use nature as the classroom, and it's very
Mm,
nice, 'di ba? Kasi we all want we want them not to be in a box, that there's more out there that they can explore,
right.
'di ba? So that's as an educator, and also for me as a parent, that's what I also would want for my daughter. So since okay, so being an educator, like, and now that we're stuck at home, most of us are stuck at home kasi nga dahil sa pandemic. And we all want to be outdoors, like, parang siguro yan ang isa sa challenge natin kasi nasa bahay lang tayo, and we know that kahit nga tayo adults, 'di ba, we'd like to go out, relax sa labas, go on a nature walk, yung mga ganon. But now that we're stuck at home, so the kids, like my daughter, she just likes to, I let her roam around the house, and uh parang explore whatever she can find here. We have a small outdoor space, yun nga, very limited. So she likes to climb on the sofa, yung mga ganon. So before, when I didn't have a child yet, and when hindi pa nabago yung perspective ko when it comes to teaching and letting children learn, takot ako, parang
Mm,
like as a teacher, parang natatakot ako. I'm scared to let my students climb up on na walang safety measures, yung mga ganon, or parang laging nakabuntot, you're always behind them, like, oh, wag yan, oh, dito
yeah.
lang tayo, ganyan. So what's happening is, it's limiting them, physically, yung gross motor skills nila, so those were my mistakes. So now that I've learned that there's more out there that they can explore, parang yun. So I'm letting my daughter uh, climb on a sofa, yung mga ganon. So tell us more about this kasi it's risky, 'di ba?
Mhm,
We are letting our children to take the risk, and us also parents. So um tell us about risky play, shall we?
mhm,
So, like, risky play na nangyayari sa labas, like
alright.
outdoor. So if we have an access to nature, how can we encourage risky play, and what do we get from it? Ganon.
Okay, oo. So risky play is something, so first of all, it's play. So
Yes.
ano siya, by default, gustong gawin ng mga bata 'yon, it
Mm-mm.
being play.
Yes.
It's something that they do, it's trying out something new. Gagawin
Mm-mm.
nila 'yon, pero hindi nila alam kung anong mangyayari. So they
Yeah.
do that out of the feeling it generates. So it generates
Mm-mm.
exhilaration. At the
Mm-mm.
same time, they're scared. So when you observe your child, yung batang umaakyat sa
Mm-mm.
puno or sa hagdan or sa furniture,
Mm-mm.
usually they ano ba 'to, they're having fun. Na-excite sila
Yes.
do'n. Pero
Yes.
also, they say "I'm scared." So
Mm-mm.
it's finding this balance. That's a risky play because it's finding this balance between fun and scary. Now,
Mm-mm.
they do not do that to purposefully harm themselves. They do that so that
Mm-mm.
they can test their limits,
Mm-mm.
so that if they achieve or if they conquer yung risks na tinetake nila, then it gives them a boost sa kanilang self-esteem. It gives them confidence that they can do it.
Mm-mm.
On the other
Mm-mm.
hand, if they fail, o let's say, umakyat ng furniture, nahulog, na gasgasan, or nagkaroon ng pasa, it's still totally fine. Because what they
Yes.
then get out of it is resilience naman na, okay, I made a mistake. Next time, I will know how to be more careful. Next time, I know which
Mm-mm.
foot gagamitin ko when I step on something or when I climb, aling kamay yung gagamitin ko.
Yes.
So, uh, that's risky play.
Yes. So, meaning even if something happened to them, uh, this is already building, the value of resilience sa kanila, 'di ba? Kasi they, like what you've
Yes.
mentioned, they learn something from it. So next time I'll use another hand or yung ganon. So it also gives them the yung ano yun, parang critical thinking, yung it encourages then critical thinking,
Mhm,
ganon. So
mhm.
next time when they play and do stuff like this, and how about for parents, kasi yan, minsan the children, it's really okay for them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they get hurt or
Mm.
masugat, ganun. So what what advice can you give to the parents para we learn to loosen up also, or
Yeah, okay.
oh, yun, yes.
So, yeah, yung nabanggit mo earlier, by default, parents or any adult who will witness their child climb up or swing very fast or run very fast with the possibility of banging into something, we
Mm-mm.
tend to say, baka mahulog ka, or we tend
Yes.
to stop them, or we tend to
Mm-mm.
carry them and place them out of danger. But when we do that, what we're actually saying, or what the kid is actually hearing, is that they're not good enough. So
Wow.
yung
Yes.
confidence nila, it becomes undermined. What
Mm-mm.
they hear is that you always need me, your mommy, or you always need
Mm-mm.
me, your teacher,
Mm-mm.
to guide you.
Mm-mm.
So parang, okay, hindi ka, you're also undermining their independence. So
Mm-mm.
you see, when we take them out of the risky situation, it's actually more dangerous for the kids. Kasi three things. First of
Mm-mm.
all, if they are not used to climbing trees, running very fast, yung physical body nila, they become clumsy. So they do not have
Mm-mm.
mastery over the balance, over the coordination. And what happens is that they are more prone to accidents and injury. So that's
Mm-mm.
first, yung physical body nila. Pangalawa is if they're always trying if they're always afraid because you're stopping them, it
Yeah.
affects their mental health. So they become fearful all the time. They do not want to make
Mm-mm.
their own choices. Kasi baka mapagalitan
Mm-mm.
ako ni mommy.
Yes, that's
And
right.
it's prone to
Mm.
stress, phobia, and anxiety.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that's the second dangerous thing when we don't allow the kids to take risks. Third
Mm-mm.
is that it'll be difficult for kids to face real dangers. Kasi
Mm-mm.
kung sa play pa lang, hindi nila alam assess ng risks, then how much more if they face real dangers or face risks as an adult. Probably,
Yes.
it's easy for them to get bullied, or
Yeah.
they're easily pressured probably into drugs or into sex because
Yes.
they're not familiar with the risks, and they do not have
Mm.
the confidence to stand up and to
Yes.
speak
Mm-mm.
up yung voice nila. Yon. So it's
Yes.
more
Yes.
dangerous. So now that we know that it's more dangerous for parents or for adults when we keep
Mm-mm.
the kids from taking risks, we should support it. We should
Yes.
encourage it. It's true,
Yes.
no games. I mean, bilang magulang talaga, mahirap. And it not only for the parents, even for me, when, for example,
Yeah.
when we went out one time with my pamangkin, so we were by
Mm.
the river, and there's alam mo yung seawall, like when you're on the beach, there's a seawall, something like that. So
Yes.
it's
Oo.
high, it's very high, and in case the kid falls off, then it's parang nakakatakot.
Yeah, that's true.
I have the
Kahit
same
tayo, 'di ba?
feeling. Oo, I
Oo,
have the same feeling.
yeah.
But then again, you go back to ano ba yung purpose? Bakit ko ba siya i-expose sa risk, 'di ba? So you
Yes.
just go back to the benefits again. So in
Mm.
forest school, we call that the risk benefit assessment. Yes, there are
Okay.
risks involved. Yes, posible
Mm.
siyang malaglag. But
Yes.
if you curtail or if you stop or if you hold back from taking the risk, then it's more dangerous. The stuff that I told you earlier
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
So it's just
Yes.
that mindset. So we support by giving them by allowing them three F's. Let them fall, let them fail,
Okay.
let them feel
All fail.
frustration, something like that.
Wow, that's wisdom coming from another educator. So we allow them to fail. Sorry, we allow them to fail, uh,
Fall
fall,
and be frustrated.
and be frustrated. And then the outcome of that is, 'di ba? It's really wonderful then. So when we allow them to fail and then fall and feel frustrated, how do we intervene? O parang, I don't know if that's the word
Mm.
intervene.
Mm.
How do we support that? So for example, nandun na sila sa state na yon of feeling frustrated, ganun. So how do we come in as an educator, as a parent, or let's say, okay, they're doing risky play, and somebody fell from the tree while they're climbing, or from yung ano yun, monkey bars, yung ganun.
Mm.
So, and then
Okay.
the initial response ng bata is to cry, di ba? So they
Yes.
cry. So how do we, ano,
Okay. First
how
of
do we come
all,
in? Yes.
Okay, first of all, in forest school, meron tayong tinatawag na 17-second rule or
Mm-mm.
probably the 10-second rule. It's up to you really.
Yeah.
No, because first of all, dapat kilala mo yung anak mo or yung estudyante mo.
Okay.
That's why it's not an parang it's not a one-off session when you join like forest school or when ikaw bilang magulang, you have already witnessed how your child is growing up or is developing.
Mm-mm.
So alam mo kung
Mm-mm.
anong stage siya ngayon.
Mm-mm.
I will give you an example. So when the lockdown started, I immediately traveled from Tagaytay here to Ilocos Sur.
Mm-mm.
And it has been
Mm-mm.
a blessing to me because I was able to witness how my 2-year-old nephew has developed in that area. So sa labas ng
Mm-mm.
bahay, merong kaming bayabas. And I think it's
Mm-mm.
a perfect tree for a child to learn how to
Yes.
climb.
Yeah.
Initially, nandun lang kami. We were just walking around. But then
Mm-mm.
later on, he took notice of the tree. And then kasi meron siyang mga branches na low lang. So pwede niyang apakan, pwede
Mm-mm.
niyang hawakan. He started there. He
Mm-mm.
started at the lower part. And then later on, he started, grasping one branch and then putting his feet on the other branch and so on until he was able to reach greater heights. So, being an observer, as an adult who observes, instead
Mm-mm.
of saying, wag, baka mahulog ka, use the 17-second rule, tignan mo muna. But if you're
Okay.
really scared, you can be at a close proximity. Lapit ka lang para anytime ready
Yes.
kang sumalo. But
Yes.
do not say anything kasi nararamdaman nila yun eh. When you're fearful, then you're kind
Mm-mm.
of passing it on to them. or if
Yes.
you re-
Yes.
or if you react agad na, wag! Alam mo yun, parang
Yes.
instead na aakyat na sana siya, then they freeze because they
Yes.
feel like they're doing something wrong. So yun
Mm-mm.
yung first step is to step back muna. Do not say anything. Do not
Yeah.
do
17 minute.
anything.
Okay, so let's
Second
remember that,
lang.
parents and teachers. Huh?
17-second rule. Seconds lang.
17 seconds
Oo.
pala. Okay, so
Oo, kasi masyado nang
17-second
matagal.
rule.
Yeah. So you
Oo.
step back and then just watch and witness. Kasi makikita mo, it's really amazing how you see them. Wow, alam niya kung saan umapak. Wow, alam niya kung saan
Yes.
kumapit. Yon.
Right, right.
And
Yes.
another is just starting a dialogue instead of saying, yun nga, wag, bumaba ka dyan. Instead of declaring
Mm.
that already, you can ask, do you feel safe? O
Okay.
kaya, parang,
Yes.
o paakyat ka, anong plano mo? Paano ka bababa?
Mm.
Those stuff. So, engage in dialogue. Now, in
Wow.
terms of tools naman, kasi risky play is also about using dangerous tools like, for example, knives, sharp
Mm.
scissors, or like when you're cooking in the kitchen. What you
Mm.
can do is demonstrate. So, demonstrate mo muna, okay, this is a knife. It is not a toy. It's a tool
Okay.
to cut vegetables or cut fruits. And then, syempre, at
Mm.
first, ikaw yung gagawa. So, they see how it's done. So, they see where you put your hands. So, the others on the
Mm.
knife, the others on the fruit, and then
Mm.
something like that. Ganon.
Ang
So, you
ganda, no?
model.
Yes, and it's nice kasi you parang it increases their vocabulary also, 'di ba? So hindi lang siya yung parang physical. There's so many
Mm,
things that you can integrate then, 'di ba? Like even if they're doing a physical play or activity, but during the course of the play, you can integrate other things like yun nga yung so instead of saying, "Oh, wag yan," or ganito, or dapat this is how you climb. Meron pang iba, 'di ba? This is how you climb. For some naman, um, uh, reactive, yung iba naman parang siguro like mas ano parang feeding na you're spoon feeding na too much. Oh, you do this, you use your left hand to climb or something like that. So instead of saying that, yeah, it's very important to observe
yeah.
our children, like how they're doing it, and like what you've mentioned, you mirror it. Yeah, you demonstrate, and yes, and they learn from us. It increases their vocabulary also. No, they learn. So a knife is this one. It's a tool to cut something, and
Mm.
so ang ganda. Ang
Yes.
ganda ng risky play. Yes,
And
and
it's the nice thing about kids is, as adults, we often feel that we have to teach them, pero they are very smart. I mean, they have built-in wisdom na rin sa kanila. Like, pag
yes,
pinapanood ko paano sila nagka-climb,
mm,
parang like, wow, it's
yes,
natural or it's intuitive for the
yes,
kids. You don't even have to
yes,
teach them.
yes, yes. I
It's
agree.
amazing to watch.
Yes, like even my daughter, I never taught her to climb anywhere. Like, you know, I was just observing her and yun, the next thing I saw, yun, nasa taas na siya. But how she does it, like, and there's one time that she couldn't climb, but she wanted to climb. So she took a box, yung lagayan
Mm,
ng toys niya. And
mm.
then, so, wow, like I was so amazed how she can think of ways para lang
'Di ba?
makaakyat siya. Kasi she's short pa that time. She was
Very
like
creative and
thinking,
resourceful.
yes. And yeah, and like you can praise them for that, right? Like um parang you can add to kasi sometimes the children they don't realize what parang they're doing na ano pala yon parang what do you call that? It's something extraordinary that they did. So parang so what I
Mm,
did was like, wow, so you use the box to step so that you can
mm.
climb. Parang I was just adding to ano ba, what she's learning.
Yeah.
Ganun. So that's also very important, right? Okay, so let's open this time, Shao, if you're
Mm,
okay to entertain any questions.
sure.
So for those who are watching us, you need to ano, 'di ba, log into StreamYard muna or they have to click the link there so that we can see who is commenting. Hindi kasi if not, ang lalabas Facebook user lang. Okay? So, yeah. So if you have any questions about Risky Play, so let us know and Shawi and I would be willing to answer or ano, kung may mga questions kayo.
Kahit sa team replay later on.
Yes, or yes,
We'll
if
just be
you
watching that space and
yes, for
then
those
yeah.
who will be watching this as a replay, so you can just hashtag replay and then post any. question or comment, so we can check it also later.
Yeah.
Yan. And also, like I'm a special education teacher, and I've shared earlier that I kasi 'di ba as a teacher for children with special needs, the norm pagdating sa preparing an environment for the children with special needs is talagang empty yung classroom. Walang
Mm-hmm.
masyadong things on the wall, ganon. But I just found myself always deviating, I always like to go out, and I know na maraming distractions outside. Yes, we
Yeah.
know that, and um but I don't know, for me it's very helpful for my children, for my students, kasi I can use everything that they see, feel, and hear, like the cool breeze of the wind touching their skin, and the green scenery, yun. So, visual na siya. Tapos, yung sensory, yung touch, and then what they hear, the chirping of the birds, ganon. So, it involves all their senses. So, for me, tas I don't know, it has greater concentration, parang mas nai-increase yung focus nila and yung concentration nila. So, I always take them outside, and I have even one colleague, and she's also a teacher for children with special needs. Like weekly talaga they go to the park. Like she takes I think she's here. She's probably watching. Her name is Mary. So she always bring the kids outside. And it's also risky when you bring the kids outside, kasi especially that these are children and they have special needs. But of course, yun nga, may risk assessment naman. Like um and according to her, parang those are moments talaga na she she gets a lot from them, you know she gets a lot of input from them, hindi yung siya yung nagbibigay. She gets a lot of things from them. So uh yun, maganda siya. It's I can attest to that as a special education teacher, na it's also very useful for children to bring them outside. So ngayon siya, kasi it's pandemic, 'di ba? And yung some of the concerns of the parents, na even if they want to bring their children outside, they cannot because of our situation now. Or like ako, I have the access, like we go to the farm in the weekend, so yun. But for some who don't have talaga access to nature, yung as in like nature talaga. So what advice can you give to our parents? So what what can you suggest, as that?
Okay, in terms of risky play or just outdoor time?
Yeah. Oh, sige.
Dalawa kasing bagay yun
First
eh.
muna yung sa risky play. So, okay, so they cannot do risky
Ah,
play outside kasi walang access sa nature. So, how do we support that in the house? I think you've mentioned earlier, no?
okay.
Oo.
So I missed telling you about the types of risky play. There's a Norwegian professor. Her name is Ellen Sandsetter, and she mentioned about the 6 types of risky play that you can observe among kids. So
Mm,
there's yung great heights, great speed, dangerous tools, dangerous elements, fear of the unknown, and yung mock aggression.
mm,
Briefly, I will run through each of those para
mm,
you will understand. So,
mm,
first is yung great heights. Ito yung umaakyat. So,
mm,
whether it's climbing a tree or in your case, climbing a furniture or
yeah.
just like going 3 steps of a flight of stairs and then jumping. That's an
Mm,
example of a risky play that involves great height already. Kasi
okay.
basta mataas.
Yes. Mm,
Second is great speed. So from the term itself, mabilis, tumatakbo
mm,
or nagba-bicycle, and then like for here in our case, yung mga pamangkin ko, they ride a bicycle inside the house. Yung small bicycle lang. And
yes,
then they
yes.
drive it on a fast speed with the possibility of, them crashing into the wall or into the furniture. That's an
Okay.
example. That's an example of great speed. Also,
Mm,
like when the kids are kunyari sa swing, kung merong
True.
swing,
Yes.
that's another example of great speed.
Mm-mm.
Third example, third type of risky play is dangerous tools. So those are knives, scissors, or yung mga tools na ginagamit sa woodwork like
Yes.
lagari, yung mga ganyan, o kaya
Yeah.
itak, mga ganyan.
Yes.
But
Si
even at
Anna,
home,
she let her kids, ano eh, 'di ba, Anna? Yeah.
so
Okay.
even at home in the kitchen, 'di ba?
Yes.
So
Mm-mm.
when the kids play with knives or when they help prepare food, so that's
Mm.
already a type of risk.
Risky play.
Ah,
Okay.
okay,
Mm.
so dangerous tools. Then there's also dangerous elements, which is exposing them to either water or fire or cliff. So yung
Mm-mm.
water, ito yung possibility na malunod when you're on the waterfalls or sa
Mhm.
beach or even when you leave them kunyari sa swimming pool o kaya
Mm.
sa batya na na mas malaki, mas matangkad sa kanila.
Yes.
Another dangerous element is fire. So you can see it at
Mm.
home when you're cooking.
Mm.
Um, what else? Yung cliff, yung bangin, probably when you have a two-story house and when you're in a two-story building, then yung
Mm.
possibility na tatalon ba siya? Yung
Yes.
ganon.
Mm.
Then there's also the fear of unknown.
Yeah.
So for in the outdoors, it is seen as when your kid is trying to veer off away from the track or the trail, tas magtatago sila, tas hindi mo sila makikita. And yung
Mm.
possibility na, ha, asan na yung nanay ko? Minsan it
Yes.
also happens when you're in a shopping mall, di ba? Yung
Mm.
tatakbo na lang sila and then later, oh, where are they?
Yes, yes. Oo.
Sometimes they do that because of the same reason. It's exciting
Mm.
for them, but it's also
Yes.
scary. Yon.
Mm.
And then I think at home you'll see it being manifested when they try to hide, I don't
Behind
know,
the door,
behind the
under the
door,
bed. Yes,
under the
oo.
bed, or parang siguro gagawa sila ng fort,
Mm.
ganon. And then last is the mock aggression. Mock aggression is when the kid is trying to play rough and tumble.
Mm.
So, amongst kids, yun yung nagtutulak-tulakan. But they're
Mm.
having fun. I mean,
Yes.
hindi siya totoong away, but they're
Mm.
having fun. So,
Yes.
those are examples of risky play na you will see it even when you're at home. So you don't
Okay.
have to introduce it, you don't have to teach your child to get into risky play kasi ano yun eh,
Mm.
inborn, inborn ba or parang ano rin eh, they just do
Ah,
it
yes.
naturally out of their own motivation. So
Yeah.
again, the three F's that we talked
Yes.
about earlier, let them fail, let them fall, let them feel frustrated. That's how you support risky play at home.
Wow, okay, ang nice. Ang ganda. So, that's why it's very important to observe them all the time, like
Yes.
or yes, and just be led by them, kung anong ginagawa nila. So, at least like if we see our children doing things that we feel it's risky,
Mm.
then now we have a better understanding of why it's important for us to allow them also. So, and yay! Thank you so much, Teacher Shawi, for shedding light about
Yeah.
risky play. Yes, because yun nga, sometimes we become reactive instead of, like taking, uh, backing off and just observing. So it's very enlightening to know about these things. And yes, so walang questions naman. Siguro the moms, the parents, and the teachers are still busy with homeschooling and online
Uh-oh.
schooling. So, once again, if you're watching this as a replay, so you can post your comment or your questions, and we'll be here to answer it. So, Shao is also in Play Daily, and
Yeah.
I'm glad she is. So, let us know. And thank you so much, Shawi, for giving us this time to tell us
Yep.
about it. And if you have anything to promote or to, I believe you have another interview. You'll be interviewing a therapist. It's going to happen tomorrow. And
Yeah.
also, you'll be interviewed by a naturalist, Anna. So let us know about your what you will be doing, what else you will be doing.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be discussing, I think, the same things that we discussed today about risky play. So I'll be in Anna's group naman. The group name is You Can Teach. Homeschooling support, tama ba? For
Yes,
beginner parents. Anna, please
yes,
correct na lang or just include the link in the comments so
yes,
that
yes, yes.
they can join if they want to. But otherwise, it'll be the same topic. Also, tomorrow and in the next coming Saturdays, I will be talking about forest school. If you
Mm-mm.
haven't heard about forest school yet, so it's an approach to learning that takes place outdoors in nature,
Yes,
and
yes.
it is led by the kids through their play and through risks. So
Mm-mm.
I started last Saturday discussing about emotional intelligence, and then the coming Saturdays of October, we will be talking about different other things, how it'll benefit your child, how your child is impacted as
Mm-mm.
a whole person. So hindi lang academics,
Yes,
physical,
that's true.
intellectual, emotional, social, spiritual aspect of the child. And most
Mm-mm.
importantly is that they will learn to become carers, lovers of nature, since nature is their playground and since nature is
Yes.
their classroom. So they
Mm,
learn how to care for the environment. And I guess the most important impact for kids learning through forest school is that they develop confidence, independence, resilience, so that even if they make a mistake, push lang, 'di ba? As
yes,
they will not
yes,
grow
that's
as
true.
soft adults. They will grow as children who can speak their mind, think for themselves, and look for creative ways to solve
Yeah,
the problems of this world.
that's true. Let's start them young, ika nga, 'di ba?
I
Yes.
want to add pala, memes, very important
Yes,
while we're on the
sure.
topic of risky play. So, very simple lang siya. One of the, because I spoke naman last week inside the Early Childhood Educators
Yes,
International
yes.
Facebook group.
Yeah.
And then one of the hindi founders, the admin of that group mentioned that, do you know what's common among kids, problem solvers, social disruptors, and leaders?
Mm,
Do you know what
yeah.
what they have in common? The
Yes.
willingness to take risks.
Wow. Yes, that's true. That's
'Di
true.
ba? Inborn yan
Yes.
sa bata eh.
Oh, oh,
And
yes.
it's just sad that somehow, as they grow up, we're trying to take it away from them. Oh,
Yes, yes.
come on, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's raise, let's
Let's
raise
raise,
kids who are willing to take risks.
leaders and, yes. Wow. Thank
Ayan.
you
So,
so much, Chawi. Parang ang dami nun. Wow. So, let's learn from this. So, it's really nice. So, let's be amazed with the wonders of what risky play can do. So,
yeah.
it's very wonderful. So, let's allow our children to experience this kind of play. And yes, and if you want to know more about forest school, so you can also leave the link, shall we,
Sige, I
or
will send
yes,
it in the comments later.
yes. Okay, so thank you so much
Thank
once again,
you.
Chawi, for giving us this time. And thank you everyone who are watching here. So thank you and see you next week again for another guest. Okay, so thank you, Shawi.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
everyone and enjoy your weekend. Bye.